My wig look good. Hey ladies, it's your girl Jasmine and welcome back to my channel. And if you couldn't tell already, we are in a new space. We are in my bedroom because things are about to get freaky. So, I have a secret to tell. Ever since I watched this movie on Netflix, and I know y'all know I'm gonna put it up on the screen, 365 Days. It was an erotic thriller. I developed this fantasy of being kidnapped by a fine man with big money, with BDE, who wanted him some me, okay? Who wanted him some me. That was a wild fantasy, and it still is a fantasy, okay? But anyway, that movie had everybody in shambles because Massimo was that man. He was that dude. And he wanted him some more, and he was stopping nothing to have her. He went as far as kidnapping old girl to make her fall in love with him within a year. That is the kind of crazy I want out of a man. I don't care what nobody says. That's the kind of crazy I want. And I know you guys are used to seeing feet content on my channel, and it's a newer channel. I do like talking about my feet care routines and how I upkeep my feet, but I also love talking about sex, dating, and relationships. And I'm also a romance author, and so I love to read. And there are two books that just gave the same energy as 365 Days. It was not the same plot, but it gave the same energy. And I want to talk about those two books today. One of them is Hostile Takeover by Christina C Jones. And I listened to it through audiobook in my car. And y'all, it's something about listening to audiobook by really great readers, okay? Really good people who have a really good voice where they can put you into the scene and you feel like you're there. You feel like you're experiencing everything. You feel like you're a bystander in the story. There's something about Wesley Siobhan. I hope I'm saying her name right, but all the books that she's done, audiobooks that she's done, they're just excellent. She's a great reader, and I love listening to her voice. And she really knows how to bring you into the story, and exactly what was done here with Hostile Takeover. Like I said, I listened to this book via audiobook, and very fucking good. Hands down, it's a 5-star read. I highly recommend that you listen to it via audiobook. But the baseline of the story is Nolani Stark learns at the very beginning of the book that her father had sold the business to a man named Orion, and she's upset because this is something that has been in her family for so many years. It was something that her mother had built, and her mother had recently passed, and so it was obviously sentimental and very meaningful to her. It's a grocery store called. Y'all, my mind is so bad, y'all gonna learn, and that's why I'm doing videos, so I can really like enhance my memory a little bit better, because I have realized that my memory, I have the best short-term memory. I'm losing my memory, and I got into a car accident years ago that left me in physical therapy for 3 months, and I have recognized ever since the accident that my memory is not the best, and that's why I want to create videos to help me remember stuff. The grocery store is called Nectar, and so like I said, Nolani finds out that her father had did some messed up mess and sold the store without her knowledge, her or her brother's knowledge. And Orion, who now owns the store, mind you, Orion is this man that just, he exudes a lot of masculinity. He's a businessman. He knows what he wants. He knows what he's talking about. He's very successful. He's very educated, very intelligent, and very fine. That's something that Nolani notes when she first sees him. This man is fine. And he makes a proposition. He tells Nolani, hey, you can have this business. I will give Nectar back to you if you marry me. And in his eyes, he sees Nolani as like a trophy wife. She is very intelligent, very smart. She's highly educated, just like him. She's super accomplished. She has article spreads and features in magazines. She's well known, and so he comes from a good family, a wealthy family, and so he feels like he needs to marry somebody who's like him. And Nolani is like him in that manner, in that sense, because they both come from very wealthy backgrounds. And so Nolani she is hesitant, okay? She is hesitant in this proposition because on one hand, she's been living her best life. Like, why do I have to marry this man to save my family's business when my daddy should never sold this business in the first place? This is so messed up. I shouldn't have to do this. And at the same time, though, Orion has been applying pressure ever since the proposition. She has been entertaining the idea. Obviously, she wants her store. She wants her mom's store. Her mom worked hard for that store, and it's been in her family. And Orion knows this, but he is still a good man, I will say, because he does not want her to not live a good life with him as husband and wife. He wants them to grow to like each other. And so he starts to apply pressure to her. He starts showing up to her job where she works at Nectar. I believe she was the operational manager or something like that, but it's a high position. And so he starts showing up to her job, you know, getting in her face, because he know he that man. He know he fine. He knows this stuff. And she is literally trying to prevent herself from crumbling under the pressure because she knows he's fine too. I feel like, for me reading it, that they have a clear chemistry, a clear sexual attraction that you can't deny. They have a clear sexual attraction, but it's still the fact that they got together, that they're literally getting together on some pretense. Like, it's not real. She's only marrying him so that she can save her family's business, and he's only marrying her so he can have a trophy wife and have someone on his arm that understands his livelihood and his ways of life, his lifestyle. So as I said, Orion is applying pressure. He is buying her gifts. He's doing whatever she's requesting, so far until the actual wedding. He wants to race into a wedding, and the thing about it is, Lonnie doesn't want to race into the wedding so fast because she has her own thoughts on how things should go down. Now, ever since his proposition, this man finds every moment to bait her. When I tell you, he is the epitome of arrogant. He's the epitome of cocky. But it's like sexy. It's like something you really can't resist. Like, I'm shocked that Nalani was able to hold her composure when she was around this man, because I know I would have folded, honey, and I would have been like putty in this man's hands, okay? But he took every moment to bait her. He took every moment to try to get her to like him too. He was doing a lot, but he was also doing some stuff that just got on my nerves too. I don't want to give too much away because I still want y'all to read the story. I'm trying to just give y'all baseline on what happens so y'all can read it and enjoy it just like I have enjoyed it. But anyway, Orion is that man, okay? And I think it's just something about stories of, it feels like an enemies to lovers. I feel like that might be one of her tropes in this story, in Christina's story, Hostile Takeover. It's just something about a kind of love that started out like, you get on my damn nerves. Why? It's kind of like forced. It's forced. And then you're very hesitant to fall in love, but this lover is doing everything he can to break down your defenses and get you to love him just like in 365 days. That's literally what happens in Hostile Takeover. And I really love the kind of man that Orion was. Not that he was changing his ways for Nalani. Like, he was still very arrogant and very cocky, but he was shifting in a way of understanding that for that marriage, for this connection to work, he had to become more patient and understanding. And two, he also had to tell her straight up and let her know that he wanted this to work. He didn't just want this to feel like a contract marriage. But there was a moment where Nalani's been resistant with falling in love with this man from the very beginning. Even though her friends, everybody around her is like, well, maybe, because they see Orion. They see the material. They're like, the material you got, at least he's not ugly, girl. Like, this could have went all the way left. This man could have been ugly. He could have been broke. He could have been not broke, because he had to have some kind of money for her to be in his contract in the first place. Okay, let's be clear. But he could have been unattractive to her, right? But Orion was not. Orion was very attractive. She felt this instant connection with him, but she just had this pushback, like this tug of war feeling with her heart, because she didn't like the circumstances of them coming together. Obviously, they only got together as a contract marriage for her to get her family's grocery store back, and Orion understood that too, and that's why he made, I feel like in every instance he was making it his business to make sure that she was safe, that she was and she was comfortable. And he was like, anything my wife wants, I'm gonna make it happen. Anything she wants, I'm gonna make it happen. And that's how I think that's how I believe their love was able to grow toward the end. Spoiler. But I mean, it is a romance story, so you guys should know that they are gonna there's gonna be a lot of stuff that happens so in between that before they actually come together as one at the end, for real. And one of those things has a lot to do with their family. And I also like to note that Orion's side of his family, they have names that are based on the stars and the constellations, and I think it's a beautiful touch from Christina C Jones to write that in, because it's a play on Nalani and Orion's love. They're literally star-crossed. Their families have been intertwined for years, and she hadn't even known how close they were until some things are being revealed as the story progresses after they get married, and she learns so much about her father, why he sold the store, and how crooked of a person he is. All in all though, Hostile Takeover is a 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. Spice level is chef's kiss. It's just the right pizzazz, just a right kick in there, and I love it. I absolutely love the story, and I hope that you guys don't just read the story, please listen to it in the audiobook version, because the readers do it justice. Like, I really felt like I was right there in the story with them, and that I was experiencing everything. And it's just something about Wesley Siobhan, I hope I'm saying her name right, but she is, I don't know which, a narrator, and I see her doing a lot of romance books. She does the audiobook version, and honey, there's something about her voice that just reels you in. Like, you really feel like you're in the story. So shout out to her, because she's the best one in the game right now who's doing audiobook versions of these big name authors. But yeah, so the spice level on Hostile Takeover, highly recommend. Okay, especially if you guys like that movie 365 Days, that has the same energy. Definitely read, definitely tune in and listen to it. Second book is Bedroom Bully by Trista Russell. And y'all, I had the physical copy of this book, and I don't know where the hell it went. Like, it just got up out of here and ran away after I finished it. I bought the book years ago. I read it years ago, and I decided to read it again back in May of this year. And since May, I don't know where that book went off to, but it's gone. Like, I turned my house upside down looking for the book, and it's gone. I don't know what happened. I wish I could hold the physical copy, because to show y'all, I'm gonna just put a picture of the book on the screen. But anyway, that book it has the same energy, like I said, as 365 Days and Hostile Takeover, just in a different plot, just a different storyline. So in Bedroom Bully, it sounds spicy already. It sounds like something is going on in the bedroom. It's an erotic thriller. Something is going on in between the sheets. And baby, something did go on in between those sheets. So the story opens up with a man named Dean who's on the run from the police. He's a fugitive, and it's all over the news, the same news that Audra is watching from the comfort of her home. But one day, Audra comes home from work, and she just so happens to find Dean's ass in her goddamn house hiding from the police. Her first mind is fear, and this man is dangerous. That's how they're painting him out on the news, and he's in my house. So they obviously have some kind of like riffraff of her like fearing for her life. It's giving very much so, what is that movie with Taraji P. Henson and Idris Elba? I'm gonna put it on the screen because because it's gonna come back to me later. I can't think of it right now, but it's gonna come back to me later. But anyway, it's given that this man is in her house hiding from the police, and she's fearing for her life, but she also sees that he's injured. And so because she has a nurturing nature about herself, despite her being held hostage, it's so crazy how our fantasies work, crazy, but she ends up helping this man out. And she helps like with his injury, because he has been shot. She does help him with his injury, and some odd reason, it's not even odd, why am I playing this? I just feel like women's fantasies, or whenever you're in that kind of situation, especially with somebody who's fine, who might be looking at you a certain way, you looking at them, or if you are somebody who's been single for so long, I don't know why the powers may be, because I've heard of situations where it started out very awkward and then two people end up falling in love, just like hostile takeover. And this is the same kind of thing that happens in Bedroom Bully, where despite her knowing, Audra knows this man is dangerous and he's in her house. He broke into her house and he's holding her hostage in her home. They develop a relationship and they begin to talk. She begins to learn so much about him, and she finds that he's actually a good person, and that the reason he's on the run is because he had murdered somebody in defense of his younger daughter. And so I won't share too much about it because I would love for y'all to read it, but in a nutshell, he does everything that he does for his youngest daughter. And Audra has a big heart, and she understands why he did what he did. The two grow close together within her home while he's holding her hostage, because she's learning so much about him and he's learning so much about her in such a high intensity situation. But he's breaking down her defenses and vice versa, because although he broke into her home, he's still on edge because he is a fugitive. But at the end of the day, they go on a run, and it gives very much Queen and Slim. If you guys have seen Queen and Slim, it gives that so much. And I want to close it at that because I don't want to give too much away. There's a lot that goes on in that story where I have to just leave it at that. Just leave it at that. That's all I can give y'all. But I will leave y'all with this. The spice level on this is a 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. And it is such a great story. You love erotic thrillers. There's a lot of juicy sex scenes in there. I forgot to mention, because Hostile Takeover had a lot of juicy sex scenes in there as well. I've been there that had me fanning myself too, okay? And Bedroom Bully, just the title reads, like, you already know Dina is bullying Miss Audra in the bedroom, like he's laying pipe. Also helps them grow their relationship, and why my girl just loses all her, she becomes delusional. My girl really becomes delusional behind a dick, and she really wants to help Dean get justice for his daughter and to evade the police. And yes, highly recommend Bedroom Bully, highly recommend Hostile Takeover. I thank you guys for tuning in today and listening to me ramble about my favorite smut book reads in the past couple of months. Again, I highly recommend that you guys read them, especially if you are a fan of romance and erotic romance. These will be right up your alley. As always, leave your girl a subscribe to my channel and drop a comment in the comment section if you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.